Welcome to the Bloody Aussie Battler with your host, Mike Holt. Hey, Glenn, how are you, mate? Good to see you again.
Bloody good, Mike. How are you? I've got a question for you, straight up, no mucking around. Now that the Queensland government has mandated that only double jabbed can go into the shops and you all have to wear masks, what do you suggest people do to deal with that?
Well, you've got to understand the law first. And the problem here in Queensland, and in fact all around Australia and the world, these governments are making mandates which do not come from the law. A mandate is just a command from the government. But in fact, I looked it up in the dictionary, and a mandate is what the people tell the government they are allowed to do. So they've turned it on their head. Again, I looked in the dictionary, and a directive, which is another word that they use, is an official instruction. But we have the choice of obeying or not. Okay? So they're not even using the right words, and they're certainly not using the law. In 1946, Australians voted in a referendum that asked if we wanted the government to provide various services, including dental and medical. The vote was yes. And this was then inserted into the Constitution under Section 51, subsection 23A. That's XXIIIA. The A means that the Constitution has been amended. And you can get a copy of this Constitution here. What they inserted into the Constitution was this. The government is now allowed to provide maternity allowances, widows' pensions, child endowment, unemployment, pharmaceuticals, sickness and hospital benefits, medical and dental services, and in brackets, but not so as to authorise any form of civil conscription, benefits to students and family allowances. So in 1946, we amended our Constitution and the government is now breaking the law. They cannot do it. When it's a constitutional law, Section 109 of the Constitution states that if a state law does not accord with a federal law, the federal law is supreme. And our Constitution is the supreme law of the land. And once people get that, you can stand up to these liars, thieves, criminals, and traitors and just tell them, you are breaking the law. And if you continue to do so, I will arrest you. Because every man and woman in this country has the right to citizen's arrest. If you see somebody committing a crime, you must arrest them. And it's very simple. You just say, I've seen you commit a crime and I hereby arrest you in the name of the law. And you don't even have to touch them. You just get their name and how to contact them, and they have to give it to you. And then you go to the court and you find a document called information and arrest warrant. You ask the registrar to give it to you. And if he says, what's it for? You say, because I've arrested somebody under common law and I want to summon them to a court. And he will give you the right document. You go home and you fill that out, you get it signed by a JP, and then you take it back to the registrar and you tell him, here, I'm filing these charges against this person. And then the registrar takes over and they will summon this person to the court. And once that happens, they're summoned to court and they're tried for their crimes. It's that simple. If you really want to take them to court, you've got to go through the procedure correctly. People keep on asking, what can we do about this mandate? Business people don't have to do any of it. They can just say, no, I'm not going to do it and you can't make me. So we can say we welcome everybody.
They can't be made to act as the, legal checker, checking people's IDs, checking people's QR codes and activities. They can't be made to do that because that's a policing function, right? Wouldn't that be a fair way to say that? It's a policing function as a police officer is a peace officer to maintain the peace and maybe also maintain.
There's a difference there, mate.
Yeah,
a police officer is a policy enforcer. As I found out the other day at my dentist, I asked him what's going to happen on the 17th, because the 17th is the day that Palachuk is bringing all these draconian mandates in. And he said, I don't work for the government. Nothing will happen. Yeah?
That's
you can
good.
come back anytime.
Yeah, because it's
And
not
this is
his
what-
job to enforce it, or not his job to check it or anything. No shopkeeper can be made to do that.
Exactly. So if the government wants to police this, they better send the shopkeeper or the business owner can just say, I'm not going to do it. Now bugger off.
Bugger off.
And
Yeah.
if they say, well, we'll give you a fine, you say, great, give me the fine. So when you accept the fine, on the back of the fine, it says how to pay this fine, or you can elect to go to court. And that's what you do. You elect to go to court. There's no law, therefore it won't go to court. Now, I proved this during the last lockdown here. I had some people come around and the police came around and they said, oh, you can't have people here. And I said, I can, it's my house and I'll do whatever I damn well like. And so I sent them away, the first lot. Then a second lot of cops came around and this grizzled old sergeant gave me a fine. And I said, great, okay, I elect to go to court. And I also took a letter down to this sergeant later on, and I served him with the letter because it stated all the laws that he was breaking. I also served it on the court registrar. I also served it on our federal MP. And guess what? I'm still waiting to be summoned to court. So don't be afraid of these bully boys. It's all bullying and it's all fake. So business people, you don't have to obey it. You can welcome everybody into your business. You don't work for the government. Don't do it. And if you want to go into a shop, just walk in. You don't have to check in. You don't have to do anything at all. You don't have to justify. You have an absolute right under common law to go anywhere you like. I want to share the screen with you here. And these are your inalienable rights. Some people say inalienable, but actually I call it inalienable because inalienable means cannot be put a lien on. So there's quite a few rights that we are born with. You can act in self-defense to protect personal, family, innocence, and nation. You can own and carry weapons for self-defense for ensuring that the nation remains free. If you come after me and I'm armed, you're going to be in trouble. And I have a right to do that, no matter what the government says. To own and control private property, land, money, personal items, intellectual property, etc. They've tried to take that away. Peter Beattie did it here in Queensland, and he took all the land around Australia and gave it to the government. They can't do that. We own that property, not them. To earn a living and keep the fruit of one's labour. They're trying to get rid of all the people who want to work so they can bring in foreigners to take over our jobs. Well, that's going to backfire on them very soon. To freely migrate within the country or to leave the country. We have an absolute right to go anywhere we want. To worship or not worship God in the manner one chooses. To associate with or disassociate from any person or group. If I don't like you, I don't have to associate with you, even if the government says I do. To express any idea through print, voice, banner, or other media. To be secure in one's home, papers, and person against unwarranted searches and seizures. You are guaranteed your privacy from the moment you are born. To be advised of the charges in the event of arrest. To have a judge determine if the accused should be held for trial or for punishment. To be tried by a jury of one's peers and face one's accusers in the event of being charged with a crime. To be tried by a jury of one's peers in the event of a suit in which the disputed amount is substantive. That's usually $10,000 or more. To suffer no cruel or unusual punishment. To establish, monitor, control, and petition our servant government to help secure the above rights. To abolish said government when it becomes destructive of these rights. Have you heard of all of these rights before?
No, that's good. Good list.
It's on the website under common law, educate, our rights. So everybody needs to know what they are. Everybody should read the Constitution because it's there for a reason, to protect our rights.
Yeah.
And the first words in the Constitution are, whereas the people. That establishes we, the people, as the supreme authority over the government. Now I'm going to read from our Constitution, Clause 5, which is very important because it says, this Act and all laws made by the Parliament of the Commonwealth under the Constitution shall be binding on courts, judges, and people of every state and of every part of the Commonwealth, notwithstanding anything in the laws of the state. In other words, this Constitution is supreme over all state laws. And they'll try and tell you, oh yes, but the Health Act overrides the Constitution. No, it doesn't. They're lying to you. Don't accept the lies. Okay? So we have absolute rights. They cannot take them away unless you're stupid enough to give in to them. Don't give in to them. Stand up to them. All right, mate? That's what we can do. All right. Catch you later.
Cheers.
And now, a word from our sponsor, who helps keep these podcasts going.
Dick Yardley's book, Australian Political and Religious Leaders, Treason, Treachery and Sabotage. Dick exposes how Whitlam, Hawke, Keating, Goss, Rudd and all the other Fabians have destroyed our manufacturing and agriculture. If you want to know exactly how they have done it, get Dick's book at advanceaustralia.com.au and click on merchandise. Knowledge is power. Get the power to fight the corruption today.